You're sitting in your 5th period class, and it's 12:51 and the bell rings. What do? Most likely, you race to your locker, grab your lunchbox, and go to the cafeteria. When you sit down, you open your lunchbox and look at what you or your parents have packed for you. Now, I want you to think about what a typical packed lunch looks like. You probably imagine something like this: a sandwich, an apple, and a water bottle. It's pretty healthy. However, the truth is that lunches these days look more like this: chips, desserts, and sugary drinks. What's in your lunchbox varies from person to person, but one thing is usually constant. There are snacks, chips, or desserts in your lunchbox. No big deal, right? Wrong. Those snacks contain unnecessary sugars that can hurt your health in the long run. This is a big issue in schools worldwide, and most people don't think about it that often. We need to make changes in our eating habits so that future generations are taught to eat healthier foods. But this doesn't mean that we should redesign our entire lives. We should make small changes because small changes often add up to big ones. Packed lunches are being packed with unhealthy things, such as prepackaged snack foods, juice boxes, and desserts. These food items are all artificially flavored, even if the packaging doesn't say it is. They also contain sugars, fats, and other unhealthy things that can hurt a child's health and eating habits in their future. For example, if a 5th grader always eats the same types of foods for lunch, they are more likely to eat those foods when they are out of school, because that's what they always ate. If this child is eating junk food for lunch, though, they will only be reinforcing bad eating habits. In a recent study of packed lunches, the researchers found that lunches brought from home had more sodium, fewer servings of fruit, fewer vegetables, fewer whole grains, and less milk. Perhaps the most staggering finding was that around 90% of the lunches from home had a sweetened beverage, snack, chips, and dessert in them. This proves that packed lunches are, on average, unhealthy. But what's the cause of these unhealthy meals? Most people might be tempted to say that the parents are responsible for packing a healthy, nutritious lunch. However, the child also has an influence on the parent. If a child sees other students or friends with a certain snack in their lunch, and they go home and tell their parent to put it in their lunch the next day, they will most likely get that snack in their lunch. Even if the parents know that what their child is requesting is unhealthy, they also want their kid to eat, so they will pack what their kids like, which for many children is junk food. This effect is more widely known as bandwagon. For those of you who were here in 3rd grade, you might remember how popular silly bands were. They were cool, cheap, and it was fun to see if you had a super rare one. People saw other people wearing them and wanted to wear them too. Eventually, they were on every 3rd grader's wrist and were banned because they were distracting. This is the same thing that's happening with lunches, except they can't have limits put on them. This is the shape that I came up with to show the effect of bandwagon. In this case, the peer brings a new snack, another student sees the snack, the student asks the parent to pack that snack, the parent packs the snack, and then the next day, the second student brings the snack. So in this case, it's both the student and the parent's fault. How can we solve this problem? Well, the obvious answer is to make your lunch healthier, but what exactly is healthy? Everyone seems to have their own definition in their mind, but I wanted to find out what the word healthy actually means. When I looked at various sources, most told me that healthy was a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease. So making your lunch healthier doesn't really make sense. The reality is that you don't have to redesign your entire lunch. Make smaller changes instead. For example, buy non-fat yogurt instead of regular yogurt, or only pack a juice box twice a week. You could also limit the things you pack in your lunch. Only pack one snack instead of two, or make a sandwich a couple times a week. It doesn't take that much effort. These are just some solutions that I found for this problem. Now when you think of a packed lunch, I hope you think of a real example and not the stereotype of a lunch. However, just because that's the reality now, doesn't mean you can't change it for the future, or for yourself. Although you might like your lunch better with the snacks in it, you should try to have good eating habits and not eat snacks for lunch every day. Packed lunches aren't as good as people might think they are. In fact, most of the items seen in packed lunches today are unhealthy. But don't scrap your current eating habits. Most things are good in moderation, and the smallest changes often make the biggest differences.